Australians have guns, contrary to popular belief. In 1997, Australia enacted the National Firearms Agreement and they had a subsequent buyback program. Now, there's a few myths surrounding this, and we're going to address some of them. First off, there's the myth that the NFA was responsible for reducing gun deaths. This is not true. As of a 91 to 2019 statistic, gun deaths were already on their way down in a downward trend before they picked up again and then resumed their reduction until they finally plateaued off around where they are now. Now, fun fact, that NFA happened right in here. So, in the middle of it, and the pickup was after the NFA was enacted. Now, another myth about Australian gun laws is that you cannot own an AR-15. Well, guess what? You can. Don't think you can own a semi-auto handgun? Well, you can. How about a pump shotgun? Yep, can own those too. You just have to get the proper licensing and jump through a bunch of hoops to do so. Now, there's a theory that the NFA was responsible for greatly reducing the number of firearms that were in Australia. Well, there was a reduction. From the 96 number, there was a reduction of approximately 650,000 to, well, between 650,000 to 1 million guns. It did reduce the number of licensed owners down to 1.2 million, but by 2013 they had already resumed their purchasing enough that they were tied with the number of guns that they had in 1996. And here we are in 2020, and there are over 3 million legally registered firearms in Australia. Now, contrary to popular belief, not everybody who had guns that were not allowed turned them in. So there are a number of non-registered, non-legal firearms floating around in Australia. Now, another myth about it is that the NFA, which was enacted after the 96 Port Arthur shooting, had stopped mass shootings. Well, it didn't. There have been at least 8 since then, which took a number of lives, around 30. Sad to say, that does happen. Now, that is not the only way that people were killed en masse between then and now. In fact, there were 3 mass stabbing events, 4 mass arson events, 1 mass killing with a vehicle, and 3 other events. The stabbings took a total of 17 people, the arson took a total of 39 people, the vehicle took 6, and other was 13, giving a total of 105. Now, fun fact of that, if you can call it fun, considering it's a sad topic, is that more people were killed via mass arson than through guns. Now, there's another myth that the NFA was directly responsible for the reduction in both homicide and suicide in Australia. Sadly, that is not entirely the case. Now, if you're looking up here, you've got your homicide rate was on a decline. The NFA happened right about here. Now, as you can see with homicides, it spiked. It has since started reducing and working its way back down to a plateau, what it's remained at since. Suicides, unfortunately, did not follow the same trend. Suicides were working their way up. There was the NFA, which did help, potentially. Suicides tapered off for a couple years, and then right around here, where 2005 and the advent of mass use of social media happened, the number of suicides began to gradually climb and increase from there. That'll be a topic for a different video. This was just to dispel some myths about gun control in Australia.